Hello everyone, today we are going to learn laws of chemical combination, and after going through this video all your concept will be crystal clear and you will be able to solve numerical which appear in the annual exam of class 11 as well as the numerical which appear in the NEET and JEE level. So before we start, get ready with your pen and notebook so that you can make your own note. So let's start. As it says, laws of chemical combination. So what does it mean? Chemical combination, that means how the element combine to form compound. So the laws which govern the combination of elements to form compound are collectively called laws of chemical combination. In these laws, the first law is law of conservation of mass. This law, we are all very much familiar with this law of conservation of mass. It was given by Lavoisier. It states that matter can neither be created nor be destroyed during any physical or chemical change It can only be transformed from one form to another form. It can only be transformed from one form to another form. So this law is very easy law. It is the combination of element to form compound where the total mass of the reactant is equal to the total mass of the product. So here we will not discuss much about this law because this is very easy and we all know this law. We will move on to the second law, that is law of definite proportion or constant composition. Law of definite proportion or constant composition. Okay, so it is law of definite proportion or constant composition. It was given by Proust. The law says a pure chemical compound always contain the same element combined together in the same proportion by mass. So for example, if you prepare carbon dioxide by burning carbon, so you burn solid carbon, you will get carbon dioxide, CO2. Or if you heat calcium carbonate, then it will produce calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. Now in both cases you are getting carbon dioxide, and this carbon dioxide always contain the same two elements, carbon and oxygen, and that also they are combined together in the same proportion by mass, that is 12 gram of carbon combined with 32 gram of oxygen. So they are in the ratio 12 is to 32, that is 3 is to 8. So from wherever you get carbon dioxide, the composition will be 3 is to 8. The carbon dioxide will contain carbon and oxygen in the same composition. Next we will go to the third law, that is law of multiple proportion. The third law of multiple proportion. And this is very important law. It was given by John Dalton. The law states that if two elements A and B combine to form more than one compound, then the masses of element A which combine with the fixed mass of element B bears a simple whole number ratio. Okay. So what does it say? If two elements A and B combine to form more than one compound, then the masses of element A which combine with the fixed mass of element B bears a simple whole number ratio. For example, consider the element carbon and oxygen. This carbon and oxygen, they combine to form two compounds, carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. Okay. Now in carbon dioxide, as you can see, the amount of carbon is 12 and the amount of oxygen is 32. So we can write like this. In carbon dioxide, the carbon is 12, oxygen is 32. In carbon monoxide, carbon is 12, oxygen is 16. So here we can see that the amount of carbon is fixed, that is the carbon is the B element, and the amount of oxygen is varying. Here it is 32 and 16. So it is the masses of oxygen which combined with the fixed mass of carbon bears a simple whole number ratio. So we will write the masses of oxygen which combine with the fixed mass of carbon is in the ratio 32 is to 16. That is simple whole number ratio 2 is to 1. So we are having plenty of example where we can check this law of multiple proportion. So here you can see that the masses of oxygen which combine with the fixed mass of carbon bears a whole number ratio 2:1. Now next we can see for sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. Next consider sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. SO2 sulfur dioxide and SO3 sulfur trioxide. In sulfur dioxide, the amount of sulfur is 32 and the amount of oxygen is also 32. The atomic mass of sulfur is 32. Here oxygen, 2 oxygen atoms are there, so it is 32. Atomic mass of oxygen is 16, 2 oxygen, so it is 32. In sulfur trioxide, it is 32 and the atomic mass of oxygen is 16, but 3 oxygen atoms are there, so it will become 48. So again you can see the amount of sulfur is fixed. So here also the amount of oxygen varies. So the different masses of oxygen which combined with the fixed 32 gram of sulfur is 32:48, and that is in the ratio 2:3. Again it is a simple whole number ratio. You can do it for NH3 and N2H4. NH3 is ammonia, N2H4 is hydrazine. So in case of NH3, nitrogen is 14 and hydrogen is 3. In N2H4, 2 nitrogen atoms, so 14 plus 14, it is 28. Hydrogen, here it is 4. Now how we can do this? See. Now in this particular problem, the amount of nitrogen is not same. The amount of hydrogen is also not same. So we have to make them same. So for the first one, what we can write? We can write 14 parts of nitrogen combined with 3 parts of hydrogen. Or we can say 14 gram nitrogen combined with 3 gram hydrogen. 14 parts nitrogen combined with 3 parts hydrogen. So this is in case of NH3. For NH3, 14 parts nitrogen combined with 3 parts of hydrogen. For N2H4, it is 28 parts nitrogen, 28 part nitrogen combined with 4 parts of hydrogen. So if we divide the 28 by 2, so we will get 14 parts of nitrogen will combine with this 4 also will be divided by 2. It will form 2 parts. So we have made the nitrogen same, 14 parts, 14 parts. 28 parts combined with 4 parts, 14 parts will combine with 2 parts. So the amount of hydrogen is different, and the amount of hydrogen, the ratio is 3:2. Again a simple whole number ratio. Let's move on to our next example. Now in this law we have learned that if 2 elements A and B combine to form more than one compound, so it is not necessary that we will discuss only 2 compounds. It can be 3 compound, 4 compound, 5 compound, 6 compound, like this. For example, N2O, NO, N2O3, N2O4, N2O5. So these are the oxides of nitrogen. Here also the law of multiple proportion is valid. Let's check. So we will, on this side we will write N2O, NO, N2O3, N2O4, N2O5. Okay, so here first we will write nitrogen, then oxygen. In N2O, the amount of nitrogen is 28, the oxygen is only 16. NO 14, 16. N2O4, it is 20, 8, 48. Again it is 28, then 64. How many oxygen are there? 4 oxygen. 4 into 16, it is 64. Nitrogen 2, so it is again 28. Oxygen 5, 5 into 16 is 80. So here you can see the mass of nitrogen is fixed except for this one. So make this fixed 28. So we will multiply this part with 2. So the new number will form like this: 28, 16, 28, 48, 28, 64, 28, 80. Now multiply 14 with 2, you will get 28, then 16 with 2, 32. So here you can see the amount of nitrogen is fixed and the amount of oxygen is varying. So the ratio of oxygen is 16 is to 32 is to 48 is to 64 is to 80. So it is in the ratio 1 is to 2 is to 3 is to 4 is to 5. So they bears a simple whole number ratio. So this is called law of multiple proportion. Hope this is completely clear to you. Next we will move on to law of reciprocal proportion, which is little difficult, but with time it will become easy for you also. So our fourth law is the fourth one, law of reciprocal proportion. Law of reciprocal proportion. It is little complicated, but with time it will become easy. This was given by Richter. So what does the law says? The different masses of two elements, the masses of two elements A and B, which combine separately with the fixed mass of the third element C bears a ratio which is either same or some simple multiple of whole number multiple of the ratio, simple whole number multiple of the ratio in which elements A and B combine with each other. A and B combine with each other. So what does it says? it is little complicated. The masses of two elements A and B which combine separately with the fixed mass of third element C bears a ratio which is either same or some simple whole number multiple of the ratio in which element A and B combine with each other. So for this we have to take three elements. So let us take this carbon, sulfur, oxygen. Carbon, sulfur, oxygen. Now this carbon, sulfur, oxygen make a triangle like this. Carbon, sulfur combine to form carbon disulfide. Carbon, oxygen combine to form carbon dioxide. Sulfur, oxygen combine to form sulfur dioxide. Okay. So now take two compound, say carbon disulfide and carbon dioxide. In carbon disulfide, the amount of carbon is 12. The amount of sulfur is how much? 32 into 2, 64. In carbon dioxide, the amount of carbon is 12. The amount of oxygen is 32. So here you can see the amount of carbon is fixed. So this carbon is the third element. The carbon is the third element. Now sulfur and oxygen are element A and B which combine with the fixed mass of carbon. Sulfur and oxygen are element A and B which combine with the fixed mass of carbon. So the ratio of sulfur and oxygen will be sulfur and oxygen is how much? 64 is to 32. 64 is to 32. So basically it is 2 is to 1. So this ratio would be either same as the ratio in sulfur dioxide, as the ratio in which they combine with each other, sulfur and oxygen combine with each other. So or it may be some simple multiple of the ratio in which sulfur and oxygen combine with each other. So in case of sulfur dioxide, SO2, the ratio is 32 is to 32. The ratio is 32 is to 32. So what we have seen that in case of carbon disulfide and carbon dioxide, 12 gram carbon combined with 64 gram of sulfur. Here in carbon dioxide, 12 gram carbon combined with 32 gram of oxygen. So the ratio of sulfur is to oxygen in this two compound is 64 is to 32. Now this ratio, which is actually 2 is to 1, should be either same as the ratio in sulfur dioxide, in which sulfur and oxygen combine. Now if sulfur and oxygen combine in the ratio 32 is to 32, sulfur 32 to oxygen, it is 32. So this ratio is actually 32 is to 32. So that is 1 is to 1. So the law says it will be either same or some simple multiple. So how it is a simple multiple? See, this ratio sulfur is to oxygen, that should be a simple multiple into sulfur by oxygen. So sulfur by oxygen, it was 64:32. Okay. Now N into sulfur oxygen, this is 32/32. So what will be the value of N? So N here comes out to be 2, isn't it? So it is 2 is to 1, N 1 is to 1. So what we can write? this sulfur is to oxygen is to sulfur is to oxygen is equal to 2:1. Now this sulfur is to oxygen, it is in the compound CH2 and CO2, and this is how sulfur and oxygen combine together in SO2, and that will be a simple whole number ratio 2:1. I hope it is clear to all of you. The ratio of sulfur and oxygen which combine with the fixed mass of carbon, the ratio of sulfur and oxygen which combine with the fixed mass of carbon to the ratio of sulfur and oxygen which combine with each other will be a simple whole number ratio. Sometimes it become 1, that means the two ratio are same. Sometimes it become 2:1, 3:1, 4:1, like this. So this was law of reciprocal proportion. Law of reciprocal proportion. You can do it with carbon dioxide and hydrogen. Carbon, oxygen, hydrogen. So let's do it with carbon, oxygen, hydrogen. So you are having carbon, oxygen, hydrogen. Now carbon and oxygen, it form carbon dioxide. Oxygen and hydrogen, it form water. Carbon and hydrogen, it form methane. So take these two examples, carbon dioxide and methane. In carbon dioxide, the carbon is 12 and oxygen is 32. In methane, the carbon is 12 and the hydrogen is 4. So the amount of carbon is fixed. So the masses of oxygen and hydrogen which combine with the fixed mass of carbon is in the ratio, oxygen is to hydrogen is in the ratio 32:4. So that is 8:1. Now in water, H2O, what is the ratio of oxygen is to hydrogen? So that will be oxygen is to hydrogen. What is the ratio? 2:16. So we can write 16:2. So finally it become 8:1. So you can see this ratio and this ratio are same. So it might be same or it might be some simple whole number multiple of the ratio in which they combine with each other, which was in case of sulfur dioxide, CH2, CO2 and SO2. In CH2 we have seen amount of carbon 12, the amount of sulfur 64, the amount of oxygen 32. So the ratio 64:32, how much? It is again 2:1. Here sulfur is 32, oxygen is 32, so it is 1:1. So these two ratio are not same, they are simple whole number multiple of this part, this SO2. So if you take the ratio 2:1 is to 1:2, sorry 1:1, you will get 2:1 final. So I think you understand this part, how we make the ratio where a fixed amount of one element combined with the different amount of two other element, and then take the ratio of the two other element in which they combine with each other. Okay, next we will move on to the fifth law, that is law of gaseous combination. The fifth one and the last one, law of gaseous combination. or we also call it Gay-Lussac law. The law says when gases combine or react, they do so in volume. They do so in volume which bears a simple whole number ratio with each other and with the product formed provided all are gaseous. And measure under similar condition of temperature and pressure. So when gases combine, they do so in volume which bears a simple whole number ratio with each other and with the product formed, provided all are gaseous. For example, we are all familiar with the combustion reaction of methane. Suppose you are asked to find out the volume of oxygen required to burn 25 ml of methane. So how we can find out volume of oxygen required to burn 25 ml of methane, and also calculate the volume of carbon dioxide formed? So how we can calculate? For this we have to write the balanced chemical equation CH4 combined with oxygen to form CO2 plus H2O. CH4 gas, oxygen gas, liquid. We need 2 moles of oxygen to balance the equation. Now this equation says 1 volume methane combined with 2 volume of oxygen to form 1 volume carbon dioxide. So we are having 25 ml. So we can write 1 ml combined with 2 ml to form 1 ml. So 25 ml will combine with 50 ml and it will form 25 ml. So we got the answer. 50 ml oxygen is required and 25 ml carbon dioxide is produced under similar condition of temperature and pressure. So I hope you understand all these laws. The laws of chemical combination is now clear to you. Solve problem, as many problem as you will solve, all your concept will become even more and more clear. Hope you like this video, and if you have learned something from this video, please don't forget to share this video and subscribe my channel. Thank you.